Well, that's about it for this season. So we'll have to talk about what just happened this season. So let's do that. What's up, Keith?
Not much, man. Just chilling. Great
It's
couple of days of basketball.
it was,
Too bad we weren't involved.
the end of the first round was pretty good. It took me a minute to really be able to watch stuff again. I wasn't quite there right away. I didn't really watch Michigan in the national championship after they beat Arizona. As much as I love Michigan as my second team, I couldn't do it. I really didn't watch much of games 5 of anything. I watched a little bit of game 6 stuff, and then I watched, some game 7s. You get there eventually. It's just I can't. I'm too angry. And the problem is that if I'm I'm going to get over it, I'm going to watch it. Then I will get angry again. I have to wait until it just eventually just sort of, you reach a sort of level of zen, but you have to let the anger subside first. Otherwise I might go try to kill somebody. So
yeah, that's never good in a basketball scenario.
Well, and it's just the way that the season ended and the way that the Spurs were a little bit vulnerable. Yeah. And, it just now, with Williams hurt and, Jordan Knott was not going to play Malawach and, all these things, it's unlikely that, those things could have occurred. But, we are where we are. But now with, again, the benefit of a little bit more time. Now that I have some distance from the situation, as D would say,
yes.
Here we are. And it's, again, I don't know. Go ahead. No,
I would love to have had a deep series like some other teams we watched, though, at least get us to 5-6 games, The
fact that we couldn't even get one game really sucked. That just, the more I go on, the more I just keep coming back to it's that, and again, we had injuries, we had this, we had that. You're playing the champion, all of those things. I understand that. You still want to get one game, and not doing that sucks. And, it just, again, it's the whole, it's the yardstick for the future of your team. And you're trying to figure out, can we win a championship? And, in order to do that, you've got to be able to take 1 or 2 games from these guys. And when you can't even do that, it's just it feels that much farther away. Getting swept out of the playoffs is it takes away almost all the good feeling out of making the playoffs, just to be completely honest. Getting swept is the worst.
Yeah.
It just is, it ruins the good feeling. Because if you started, again, if you came into this season and said, what do you expect? Mm-hmm. We've gone over that a million times. So we agreed that ultimately this season was successful.
Yes.
But we also both said if we got swept out of the first round, it wouldn't be. And I think we were, but I don't like to, and so I am, and it's just, the more I sit here and think about it, the more I'm angry I'm getting.
It's a successful season with a disappointing end. It's still, it's bittersweet. What can you do? We overachieved. We can still wish for a more exciting finish this season. I don't think that's wrong. But
Well, and just the fact that there was more there for the taking. There were so many opportunities to get to the 6th seed. Yeah. There were so many opportunities to hold the 7th seed and to play the Spurs in the first round, where it's, we would have gotten at least 2 games off the Spurs.
Yeah. Mark Williams, you think so still?
Yes. I just think, because Wemby's hurt too. And they're just, there it would have been a lot of small ball both ways. And, we just match up well enough with them that we would have taken a couple of games from them. And, they're still really good and still talented, and Wemby is still playing, or was playing. So I'm not saying we would have won the series, but we could have. That's a series that we had a legitimate chance to do something in.
Yeah.
And this series, all we had a chance to do was win a game, maybe. And we did not do that. So it just, and it feels farther away. It's you lose the first game, you're all right, we can still get the split.
Yeah.
And then you lose the first 2 games, you're all right, but we can still win at home. And then you're down 0-3, and you're all right, well, someone has to win 4 in a row at some point, and then it's over. You're just all right, well, yeah. So it's a hard way to If we had made the conference finals and got swept, this would be different.
That was huge. Yes, it was way different.
Or if we'd even made the second round and got swept, it would be a much.
Yeah.
We just kind of really the last 2 months have been bad, and so that's what sucks about this season is that so much of what was good, just sort of. I mean, it mattered. You made the playoffs and you proved some things, but you certainly didn't prove what you were trying to prove. Like, Dylan Brooks wrote the whole article about no one wants to play us right now and all these things. The Thunder just swept us, So
yeah. It's like, sounds like they kind of wanted to play us.
Seemed like they were fine playing us. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as Mark, the things that I don't like about the playoffs is that we still don't know exactly what we got as far as our team goes with Mark Williams being out. Like, we don't know how our starting lineup fares against
the
OKC.
Is Mark Williams even capable of being part of a starting lineup? Is he even capable of playing? I mean, his NBA career to this point suggests that the answer to that is no, and that he will never be able to play, starters minutes in an 82 game season. And the thing is that you don't need everyone to be an 82 game player and all these things. But when a guy averages 40% of his games for his whole career, and again, we invested 2 first round picks. What you can't do is sign him to a big contract just because you invested 2 first round picks in him.
Right.
Like, if someone's willing to pay him a ludicrous amount of money, you just need to let him leave.
Right.
Like, as much as we don't want to, and the offseason stuff will come later, but just, I think what we did see this season, like the thing about Mark Williams and Jalen Green is that both of those were, with Mark Williams, it was, okay, we have a better history with training. Charlotte, they don't know what the hell they're doing about anything. Let's get him here in the dry climate with our training staff. We'll get him healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out.
And it looked like it was for a while. But
yeah. But then it's that's kind of the same thing with Charlotte. He had multiple seasons where he starts hot, and then just it's how this goes. And with Jalen Green, it's the same thing. All right, the Rockets are a mess. They don't have an organized offense. They don't have a superstar offensive player. They do. They have Kevin Durant, but they didn't have one next to Jalen Green. They're defensive oriented more so.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put Jalen Green next to Devin Booker, and let's see how those two guys play together. And we'll see if Jalen Green has more than he showed in Houston. And again, you didn't get the answer to that question because of injuries. And that's really the truth. Like, whatever we feel about Jalen Green, whatever I say about Jalen Green, whatever you say about Jalen Green, we don't honestly know because there was not enough time to make that decision. I'll say the same 3 things I said. The regular season was atrocious for Jalen Green, and I don't care about the injuries because it was the decision-making. Now, some of that's in Jordan Knott because he put the ball in his hands all the time. The second thing I'll say is that the Warriors game was awesome, and it was the peak of what we can see from Jalen Green. And the third thing I'll say is that in the playoffs, although he didn't necessarily play great, he played off the ball all the time. He was cutting, moving, doing all the things we want to do. So I was certainly impressed by what we saw from Jalen Green towards the end. But impressed by what I saw towards the end is not, I'm sold, he's the starter next to Devin Booker for the future. So the worst thing for us this season, aside from getting swept and all that stuff, ultimately, like, getting swept would be fine if you knew that you were going to start Jalen Green.
Right.
Getting swept would be fine if you knew that you were going to pay Mark Williams. So the fact that you don't have answers to those questions, you look at the Suns' perspective on it. And the funny thing is, like, we sit here and say, oh, I'm not sure about this and I don't know about that. But, we were looking at some of this stuff before the game and, like, the Suns have no intention of moving anybody. Like, it's right here. Like, 100%, according to Ben Holler, Gregory is confident Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green will look better together in 26-27 after injuries limited their opportunities to share the court this season. 100%, the GM said. You're talking about 3 guys who are driven to become better, to do what is asked of them, help the team be successful to win. When you have that baseline, it puts you in a pretty effective spot to move forward. That literally means nothing.
That's a lot of corporate speak.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of bullshit nonsense. But what it means from that perspective is at least right now they're operating as if they intend to basically bring this team back.
Yeah.
That Brian Gregory speaks in nonsense business talk. The words he says means literally nothing to me. I care about what he does as a GM, and he's done decent work as a GM so far, but the words that come out of his mouth are absolute useless nonsense.
The interesting about that little clip of his words is that he didn't mention anyone else on the team.
It is true. Those three dudes, but I think that it's understandable from the perspective of that those are kind of your top three salaries, your top three sort of alpha dog names. I understand why people would, but I agree. Like, Colin Gillespie was a more important part of this team this year than Jalen Green. Grayson Allen is a more important part of this team. And again, that's just a lot of that has to do with how much Jalen Green was hurt. That's not a knock on Jalen Green. It's just true.
Yeah.
Oso Ighodaro is a huge part of this team this year. So it is definitely interesting. The Ighodaro extension is an interesting one because the fact that he's a second round pick limits what he can get. And I think the Bobby Marks article showed it at like 4 years, $92 million.
Wow. That's how much they want to give him. No.
Well, no, that would be the maximum that he could get off of his rookie deal.
Got it.
Because he's a second round pick, and I think it's only a 3-year deal because he's a second rounder instead of a 2-year deal, or instead of a 4-year deal. I don't hate that deal at all for Ighodaro, especially because he wouldn't get all of that money. It would be more like 4 years and 80 with like escalators or something. And again, you have to these numbers sound so huge until you remember the cap is almost $200 million now, and a max salary slot is now $70 million fucking dollars in these upcoming years. Like, $20 million just is not what it used to be in terms of how much of the cap it takes. But this is the stuff we're talking about. Gillespie's going to be up for, we can keep Gillespie because he's going to be available for the mid-level exception. He's going to be eligible for it. We're going to have it. This is the thing, is that you can't keep everyone. You can't pay everyone. And then on top of that, the stuff that we talked about, that we wanted to occur as like, wish list stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Is the Aaron Gordon thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Which,
like a rim protector.
Right. Yeah. And that's, there's people talking about this being a potential thing is, Aaron Gordon theoretically being traded. There's some Nuggets people are saying, the Nuggets only do it if you, you blow them away with a huge trade, which I understand. I mean, Gordon's a good player, but again, an injured player. That's the other problem for the Suns, is that Aaron Gordon played 32 games this year. So it's like, I love the idea of Aaron Gordon on this team, but it's like you're investing in another potentially injured player. Like, there's a lot to this stuff, Yeah. There's a lot of choices. And yeah, again, these numbers are crazy. Like, again, it's not that the numbers are not crazy, but Devin Booker's extension with the Suns at the end of this decade is literally a 2-year, $140-something million extension that is 71 year. I think 71 million and 73. I believe it's 144 million for 2 years. Wow. So Oso Ighodaro getting 20, it's less than a third. So if you think about when we were like younger and we think of a max contract, like when I was a kid or whatever, is like $20 million, right? Mm-hmm. So this would be like Oso Ighodaro in that era be getting like 7 million. Yeah. And you would do that,
Yeah.
So
I remember back in the day, like Michael Jordan was like news when he got like a huge, like 30 million a year or something.
It was 1996. And the NBA historically did not pay dudes. Like, I mean, they just didn't have the money.
Shout out to Otter Pop, by the way.
So what up? Yeah. So the NBA historically did not really pay dudes. They had like a low salary cap. They didn't have free agency. A lot of guys were not paid. And Michael Jordan like made this league despite not making a ton of money. And at this point, they basically had a couple of uncapped years where they basically they basically wrote the thing to just pay guys whatever you want. And they were just like, you can pay them any amount you want because they were making up for what, had done. and Jordan signed a 2-year, $72 million contract. And again, this is in 1996. And that $36 annual like value was not eclipsed until I think 2016.
Wow. Okay.
So it was literally 20 years. It was the most expensive contract in the history of basketball. Like again, literally 2 years, 72 million in 96. Like it was that I remember when I was like, that was like unfathomable, at the time. And so, when you see 20 million, it seems like so much, but again, NBA salaries are out of control. It's gotten completely insane, but it is what it is. What up, our favorite?
So, do you think so you're talking about salaries and 20 million is not, but like, what about with our luxury tax and things like that? So what do you think we're going to do do you think we're going to try to stay under 2 years in a row? Or do you think we're not really concerned about that?
I mean, Ishbia's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have Ballmer money.
Yeah.
So you've got to consider the luxury tax stuff. I understand that. I mean, he is a billionaire though. So like, it's not like we want to, and I think he's made more money since owning the team. So we're certainly not feeling bad for him. But I mean, you can certainly understand you're not asking a dude to pay $500 million to field the roster that's going to win less than 50 games. Like that's never going to happen. Yeah. I think that the answer to that question depends on what is available to the Suns this year. Because like what we learned early on with Ishbia is that he's willing to take big swings. What we also learned is that is not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, he also regrets doing that a little bit.
He does. He has stated several times he doesn't want to do that anymore and he wants to stay the course. So when you see these things like the Aaron Gordon trade, to me, I don't see a scenario where like people are like, well, the Nuggets have to be bowled over. They're not going to be. Aaron Gordon is 32 years old. His extension's about to kick in. He's about to make $30 million a year. He's injured a lot. They're not going to get some major offer. And this whole, the Nuggets are going to, it doesn't matter what the Nuggets demand. They're not going to get that. So it may be for them because, again, remember, he has a 3-year, $100 million extension that's about to kick in. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Green's money is about to come off the books. It may be that the Suns can say, we'll give you Jalen Green for Aaron Gordon, and you get salary cap relief and a shot to, you can take your look at Jalen Green playing with Jokic. And that may literally be all they get. Mm-hmm. This idea that they're going to get bowled over and get 2 first-round picks, they're not getting anything like that. Like that stuff is never happening. They could get a back-end first-round pick and a decent player, but this idea that the Nuggets are going to get this incredible offer for Aaron, it's just not happening. He hasn't been healthy since they won that championship. He has not been the same player. And as much as I want him on the Suns for a playoff run, because I think he has value, you're not doing it like a sort of Mark Williams investment or something. Right. You're not doing that. So as to what the Suns do, if Aaron Gordon's available for players that you're willing to part with and it keeps you in the tax, but it makes you better, I think they'll stay. Mm-hmm. If we're not getting better outside of internal growth, I think he'll duck out of the tax, which again, like that will then open more down the road.
Yeah.
It gives you more exceptions.
Yeah.
So it's like, the thing is that we all look at it as, well, the owners, we're not, yes, of course, fuck them. They're all billionaires, but also I need my team to have more contract options.
Right.
And so we do need him to duck the tax to make sure that certain exceptions are open for the Suns to operate.
Especially when Booker's, window is like what? You said the next 4 to 5 years or something? Like,
I mean, the thing about Booker is that his game is going to age incredibly well. Mm-hmm. He doesn't play based on speed. He's not like, playing all of the defensive reps on the one end on the toughest guy. Much like Chris Paul, Booker's game will age very well. And the thing is that, as he gets older, he can become more of a playmaker and, exert more force in the fourth quarter of games and not always have to. His game is just going to age very well. And so I think that Devin Booker has, 5 to 6 more seasons of all NBA potential. Like, is he probably going to be all NBA at age 36? No. But like, would anyone have said Chris Paul would have been as effective as he was at his age 36 season? No, and he was. So like, because again, I just see a world where Booker ages into more of a point guard and his assist numbers tick up. I actually think also his 3-point shooting is going to continue. Certain guys shoot better as they get older, and Booker's shot is a little flat. As he loses certain physical challenges, he's going to get more arc on the shot, and it's going to get better. He won't be able to get to the rim in the same way that he can now. But I think that Booker I just think his game will age very well in the way that Harden's game has aged well. Like, there are some dudes who are not relying on like supremium athleticism, which is just not what Booker is. So the Suns have time, but you don't have a lot of time. So you need to get markedly better every single year. And you're going to need to get lucky. The Thunder have all these players, Wembanyama, but of course, every championship team in history is lucky. The idea that championships don't involve luck is ludicrous. So of course you're going to need some luck. Whatever that may be, whether that be the right seeding or, a game where everyone's hot and makes all the threes, But I really do believe what the Suns do this summer is based on who is available to them for what price. And I know that that's a hedging answer, but I really mean I believe they're going to try to get better. I believe option one would be try to get better and stay in the tax. I do think so. But if they can't do that, then I think they will try to get out of the tax. But I do think that he's going to try to make upgrades. But I think that those upgrades are going to come from consolidations rather than trading a bunch of picks for whatever.
Yeah.
Because we do also if you want to play Malawach next year and you want to play Rasheer Fleming, you can't bring back everybody.
Right.
You cannot play Colin Gillespie, Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Rasheer Fleming, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal. You're going to be stuck in small ball hell. Of course you need as many wings as you can, but at a certain point, you also have to have functional bigs. And we just saw what happened when we didn't have even a functional fucking power forward. In this, we just got roasted.
Yeah.
So we're going to need more size. Brooks cannot be put Brooks got killed every time he was playing the 4. We played him up at the 4 and he got roasted. So you cannot bring this team back in the same way. You got to make some changes somewhere. And that's where, and again, it sucks. I wish that we could have 27 guys and we could just keep every Suns player that we love, but that's not how it works. There are roster spots.
Yeah. I lean towards I kind of lean towards that we are going to try to stay under the cap only because of the way we moved Nick Richards. And we tried so hard to get under this year. So I'm just why, unless we're really trying to get under that luxury tax for 2 years in a row?
Why bother starting the reset unless you're going to finish it?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's why move so hard to get Nick Richards under just so he could do the mid-level exception and get some trade value back, and so you can package 2 players together. I don't think that's necessarily why we did it. I think it's because we want to be able to sign someone else with a big contract. I think in 2 years from now, Ishbia would want to sign someone else that's getting maybe $50 million a year or something like that. And that would be hard on the tax. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, if you do that, then you can't sign Williams now.
Right.
If you're planning to sign a player in the future, then Williams doesn't get because in that scenario, what you're saying is that I think we agree at this point that Dylan Brooks is part of the future of the Suns.
Yeah,
nobody would disagree with that at this point. I don't know about him necessarily getting an extension right now. There's some discussion about that, but he's still got multiple years left on his deal, so I don't know where that really is. But I expect Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker to play the next 5 years together. I do.
Okay.
So let's say that let's just call that locked in right now. Let's say that that's a thing. Yeah. I believe that. It may not go that way. Anything can change, but I'm saying that right now I believe those two are the starting basically forward wings, whatever, for the Suns for the next 5 years. From there, it just starts to get murky because as much as I love a bunch of dudes, the question is how much, again, you only have so much money to go around. You only have so many things. So when you ask the question, do I think it's possible that we could want to go after a big star in a couple years? Yeah, the Beal money is much less of a big deal then. A bunch of other contracts are coming off the books. Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, those contracts will be starting to come off, things like that. or will at least be expiring contracts that you can trade, those sorts of things. Like as part of this deal. Because a lot of times, don't forget, you don't necessarily just sign a dude. You don't have the space, you sign and trade. And you give a bunch of your pieces to that team. You know what I mean? Like there are ways to make these contracts work. But functionally, that's talking about acquiring the third star, right? I see, the thing is, if you had asked me this a year ago, I would absolutely agree with you that yes, Ishbia is going to do that. But now I don't know, because every single thing that they did this year was exactly what you should have done. And now technically the right thing to do again is the same thing. Like if you can trade Jalen Green for plus value, you do that. If you can trade Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen for plus value, you do that. That's technically the right thing to do. I'm not saying I want to. I'm saying that technically, if you're looking at this from a we're trying to win perspective, you should trade probably Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and Jalen Green, re-sign Goodwin and Gillespie, and then hopefully those other three that you traded, you can put something together. But it's like you could also just say no, like you said, let's just keep this thing together. We'll trade one guy to get out of the tax, and then we'll reassess after next year. We'll give this team some more chemistry, and then we'll say, okay, we're going to look at what we want to do long-term with everyone. The problem there is, what do you do with Williams then? So let me ask you this question. In the scenario where you're wanting to chase a future player, are you willing to just let Mark Williams walk?
I kind of am leaning towards that, only because he wasn't available in the playoffs. So I'm just wondering, is that going to be a problem going forward? Like if we don't get him, what do we got here?
This is actually a valid question. Sorry if this has been said before. Are a lot of contracts expiring for Suns players this year? Is that what you were predicting or wishing for? Not a lot of contracts are expiring this year. Actually, we like this team and would like to keep the majority of them.
We got some free agents.
Yeah. I mean, if it was up to us, I think that given losing a bunch of players or keeping the entire roster, I think we would vote to keep the entire roster, right?
Yeah.
Like I love this team.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that we are wishing for it, but there are free agents. So in terms of predictions, and that's a great question, as always. Thanks, Otter Pop. We love you. Let's just take a look at the Suns free agents who are the Bobby Marks article, scrolling all the way to the bottom because, the space bar is stuck on my
Your cat is on the space bar.
Truly amazing. Cat's on the space bar, and it just went to a new article. Wow, dude, I don't even know what just happened there. That was truly amazing.
But we know Gillespie's a free agent.
Yeah.
We know Williams is a free agent.
Let's see if we can find what we were looking for. This is like a completely different article. That's truly amazing. Like, wow, it literally just nuked what I was trying to bring up there, because no, we don't want a bunch of guys to leave. But
So yeah, I mean, I don't really want Mark Williams to leave. I am just worried that he is injury prone. And the thing is, if we keep him and Gillespie, basically, like, then you're looking at, okay, then you might have to actually drop Grayson if you want to stay under the luxury tax. So that's what I'm just trying to get in the head, like, what the Suns are actually trying to do. Like, I guess I just don't know. I think just from their Nick Richards move that they are trying to stay under luxury tax. So I think that would inform like a lot of the moves that we make based on that. Like, okay, so if we were trying to stay under luxury tax, and we want to keep a big, so we want to sign. See, the thing is, I don't know how much we would, like, how many years we would sign Williams for. You're saying 3 years? Like,
I mean, so a Williams contract is really fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Like, because it gets so there are so many different variables because of the injury problems, but also because of the, there's just not that many centers.
Right.
And
That's
so
the
it's tough to figure out. I finally found this thing again after the absolute crazy ass nuking here. I apologize. That's the reason for my terrible comments over. So free agency, Colin Gillespie, early bird, Mark Williams, restricted bird, Goodwin, early bird, Coffey, non-bird, Jamari Bouye, team option, non-bird, Kobe Bryant, restricted, non-bird, and Isaiah Livers, restricted, non-bird. So real quick, let's talk about those because we got a question. So anyone can come in and steal them. So that depends on the type of free agency status we're talking about here. So in the example of Colin Gillespie is an unrestricted free agent with early bird rights. What that means, unrestricted free agent. Yes, he can sign with literally any team. Any team that has money can sign him. We cannot stop him. We cannot prevent him. We cannot match his contract. If he chooses to leave, he can leave. Early bird means that he is signed with us for 2 consecutive years, which means that we have the ability to offer him the mid-level exception. If we had full bird rights, we could offer him a contract even above the salary cap. But given that we do not have full bird rights on him and we only have 2 years, that gives us early bird rights, which literally means he can sign up for up to the mid-level exception, which is 4 years and $14.9 million. For Colin Gillespie, that's a really good contract.
Right.
He's not getting the full mid-level exception, not after the way he played down the stretch and not after the way he played in the playoffs. So
unless someone just wants to try to steal him from us.
Well, I mean, if someone has a lot of money to spend, they just need to put, there are always possibilities, but
he said he wanted to play here.
Yeah, and I also think that the kind of team that has a lot of money to spend right now is not necessarily like, if they have a lot of money to spend, they're probably under the cap. Someone offering Colin Gillespie like $18 million or some shit, it's just not a smart way to, it wouldn't be the right way to do business.
Yeah.
Mark Williams is restricted and has bird rights. So what that means is that he is restricted. So we can match the contract. So other teams can talk to him and they can sign him to a contract, but we have the right to match it. We can just say, nope, we're matching that contract. You play with us now. So if he signs that contract with another team, he's either going to play for them or for us. There's no other teams that could come in. And he just has regular bird rights. So we can sign him over the cap because we traded for him on his rookie deal. When you acquire a player on their rookie contract, you get their bird rights so that you can sign them above the cap. For Colin Gillespie, we signed him as a free agent, and then we signed him, we retained him, but that's why we don't have his full bird rights because he did not play here on his rookie deal. And if he had played here for a third year, then if we sign Colin Gillespie, technically for Colin Gillespie, let's say that he had an unbelievable this year and he wanted to stay here and he was close to being a max player, he'd sign a 1 year 14.9 deal with us, and then he would be here 3 years in a row, and then he would have bird rights, and then he'd be able to sign over the max. But for a guy like Gillespie, he's not going to do that. He's already do that. So again, early bird rights. So Jordan Goodwin. So it's the same thing. Goodwin has early bird rights. I don't know that he has the full 2 years. So I don't know if he's available for the full mid-level, but so it's right there. That's the point is Gillespie and Goodwin are going to be eating into your mid-level. Amir Coffey, non-bird, he's not coming back. That's just someone, unless he just takes, a minimum. That's just someone that, is filling out the roster. Jamari Bouye, team option, probably not coming back. Yeah. Fun player, but
didn't get a lot of time down.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fun guy, but he's 27 and, Kobe Bryant and Isaiah Livers are late picks who just didn't have guaranteed contracts, so they're restricted. They typically end up back on short-term deals, tender deals, two-way deals, those sorts of things. But the point is, ultimately, Gillespie is completely unrestricted and can sign with anyone, and there's a maximum amount of money that we can give him. So if someone came in and offered Colin Gillespie $16 million a year, there's nothing we can do. We can't match it. If someone comes in and offers Mark Williams $25 million a year, we can match it. So the question you asked before about a Mark Williams contract, what would it look like? That's a horrendous problem. See, because there again, so if you're looking at 3 years from now, you want to sign someone, then you need that money available. Right. Okay, what about the Oso Iguodala contract I mentioned? Would you pay Mark Williams that 4 years and $92 million?
4 years, 92 million.
Yep.
It's over 20 million a year.
Yep.
Man, like we have to give it to him that this year. Like so
Mark Williams is a free agent,
so he gets 20 million this year.
so that would be an extension for him,
Right,
on top of the time he has remaining, which I believe he has 1 year left. Williams is a free agent this year. So the question is, do you think Williams has the potential to outplay a $92 million contract to the point that you're happy and don't need to sign another player in 2 years? Or do you think he's good enough that you could trade that contract should you have the ability to sign a guy to come up? How sure are you that Williams is either going to get better or be movable versus just saying, I need to let this guy go?
man. For me, because I don't know enough about his foot, I don't do that contract. I don't think.
I'm going to tell you right now, injuries to the metatarsal
Yeah,
in a center are bad.
yeah.
There's 2 injuries you don't fuck with in centers, and those are back injuries and foot injuries. Hamstring injuries, knee injuries, these things, like knee injuries are horrible. Hamstring injuries can be horrible, but like a lot of them can be dealt with. The bone-on-bone stuff in knees can't be dealt with, but I mean, like a torn ACL, they'll come back from that. Even these days, a torn Achilles in the heel, they'll come back from that. But like when they start breaking bones in the feet,
Yeah.
that shit starts to get systemic.
This has been like 2 years he's been dealing with this.
Yes. And the problem is that in some cases, those bones don't grow back, and they don't grow back properly. And so they have all these surgeries that require all these screws in their feet. The simple fact of the matter is that what we choose to ignore about in the NBA is that people are not actually supposed to be 7'2", 300 pounds. Like those people are actually larger, and these guys should not be adding muscle. It's not good for their frames. Like people who are that tall are supposed to be mostly skinny. They should not be putting on all this weight. It's very bad for them. That's why when Victor Wembanyama came in the league and people are like, he needs to add weight. No, he doesn't. He's never going to fucking play if he adds weight. He's skinny. He needs to get strong, but skinny strong. All this stuff he did about yoga and Shaolin monks is probably smart, because lifting weights is actually not that good for him. And so, humans just aren't supposed to be 7'10", 300, whatever, and also do all this leaping and all this shit. Like basketball players are truly incredible humans who do things that are above and beyond what is supposed to be possible. So when your feet start to break, that's bad news. So to me, I'm like, listen, this contract has to have heavy injury protections. Yeah. Like the Joel Embiid max with the Sixers way back when it was like, there were like, and there's less stuff that you can do like that now, like, because there are rules about these things.
Really?
But there are still injury protections you can put in place, and I think that would be the only thing that you could do. But when the Suns traded for Mark Williams, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew they traded a lot for him. I wasn't that worried about it from the perspective of, I really thought, he's young. A lot of guys have had injuries when they're young. They grow out, and it continues. And the metatarsal injuries just scare me. I'm almost just at the point where I'm like, you know what? We've got Iguodala, we've got Malowacz. Just let someone else sign Williams. And that's how we get under the tax, by the way.
Yep.
If you just don't pay Williams, you're pretty good. Yep. Like you don't, I don't even know what other moves we would need to make. That would be not paying Mark Williams and just letting his whatever salary for whatever his like cap hold of 10 million or whatever just come off the books would be a big step towards just staying out of the tax.
Yeah.
And then you just say, all right, Iguodala's the starter. Malowacz is going to come off the bench. And then in that scenario, you keep Ryan Dunn, and maybe he gets another shot at playing a little bit. Yeah. Rasheer Fleming also is going to get, it looks like a lot. I mean, they played him at center. I mean, that was crazy. That was a desperate,
He played Highsmith at center.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that was the way Jordan Ott coached some of that stuff. I can't even.
And that's why I'm like, dude, is even going to utilize Mark Williams anyways? It's like,
well, and I do think a lot of what Jordan Ott did had a lot to do with veterans, and like what they earned this season, and him not wanting to just bench them in the play. It's like, we're going to lose this series anyway. I'm not taking this away from them. Like, I'm going to give them. And it was good for Oso Leonardo to get those minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's good for Malwatch to get the minutes that he got. You know, Williams didn't even play. And it just, I don't, you know, it really, you know, if it's 2 years and 30 million, hell yeah, sign Mark Williams to that contract if he would take 15 million, but he's not going to take that. So, you know, even 4 years and 60 million, I would be okay with.
Yeah.
Because you could move that.
Yeah.
But 20 million, like it just doesn't, it's, and again, it just reaches a certain point where, I mean, you just don't invest a big contract in a dude. And I hate to it's like, I hate hating on a 24-year-old kid who works so hard.
It's not even him. It's his
well,
foot.
yeah, that's the thing is like, I love him. We said it on this show many times. He's what DeAndre Ayton was supposed to be. We love him.
If you told me his foot was never going to break again, I would say, yes, sign him for 20 million.
Yeah.
I would say that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's the, I don't know. And I can't look at his medical records like our team can. So like, I'm just having to go off the last 2 years of his foot history.
I would literally say that he's worth up to 30 million a year.
Yeah.
In a world where his foot is good.
Yeah.
Like if his foot was good and we paid him 4 for 120, I'd be great.
Yeah, me too.
But that's not where we are.
Right.
And I hate to do that to a guy, but the problem is this is not one season.
Right.
This has been his whole career dating back to college.
Right.
At a certain point, this is who you are. And if I can get you at half your salary, because you're going to play half the games.
Yeah. And then playing the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So he's not hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know you can't do that, but
I mean, you can. You just have to.
I thought there were rules now. You can't sit people or you just say he's hurt or
those players are like all-stars.
Okay.
Like Williams hasn't earned anything that you can sit Williams all you want. It's like you can't sit like dudes who have made all-star teams and stuff.
Okay.
So as far as like what we do this, like I'm with you. Like I'm inclined to just say, like, there's a big part of me that says, yeah, the Suns just let Williams leave. They stay under the tax. You let this group grow together, and then next year you figure some stuff out. But I also, if the Nuggets come to us and go, you know, dude, we'll give you Aaron Gordon for Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that doesn't add much to our cap. Like,
no, it doesn't. It turns two contracts. Those contracts basically equal his.
Yeah.
So that's, and for the Nuggets, it gives them 2 players instead of 1.
Right.
When they've had total problems with guys just being on the floor. And for us, we're taking, and that again, I understand that's a very low price for Aaron Gordon. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, in a scenario where like the Nuggets come to the Suns, in a scenario where someone comes to the Suns and says, you can have this player that's more expensive and we'll take a couple of your just whatever players, they're going to do that, even if it keeps them in the tax.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to go like big game hunting. I think they're going to take phone calls more than make phone calls.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But I do think that Ishbia is not a dude who's ever going to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Right. Like if Giannis wanted to come to our team, like he's going to sign Giannis and fuck the luxury cap. Like that I get. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think there are certain scenarios where he's just going to be like, all right, fuck it. But I think that it's only very specific things. If you can get a really good rim protector, then you're doing some stuff. Like if the Suns could bring in, I don't even know the guy, like off the top. I don't know what the right match is with whatever, but you know
who's available.
Yeah. You know, but if there was some version of Chet Holmgren, a young elite rim protector, you know, the Suns would blow shit up probably a little bit to do that. And you should.
Banchero.
Banchero is not much of a defender. No, okay. But that would be interesting. I mean, he's not a bad defender. He's not a rim protector, but he's just more tough than like, you know, he doesn't cover a lot of space or whatever. That would be.
What about like Gobert? Like, would you ever want him on your team? Like if the Wolves like get blown out against, you know, the Spurs or whatever.
I mean, he's older, so I'm not having to pay. I mean, do I want Rudy Gobert on the Suns? Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, absolutely. Cool. He is a defense unto himself. It's all about age and price, of course. Mm-hmm. But like, would I want that? Yes, absolutely. It's just that he's 34 now, you know.
Right.
But that's the point. Like, if there was some, but that's the problem, right? You normally have to draft these guys,
Right. Yeah.
You don't just get them.
That's
So
why we have Malawatch is great.
that's the thing. Is like Malawatch has an opportunity, but I would trade him for Chet Holmgren. Like if
unknown commodity.
Right, yeah, like if it was Holmgren for Jalen Green, Malawatch, and 2 first-round picks, like I would do that. And the Thunder would never do that. But I'm just saying, like in a world where I'm willing to make a play for a young elite rim protector, and those guys don't exist. So given that, like a guy like Gordon, who's a little older, but again, that means his value is 2 role players. I think it has to be a scenario where someone comes to the Suns with a great deal. And they're like, look, we're tired of shopping this guy. We're not getting the offers we want. Here's the offer right now, yes or no. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that happens sometimes with trades in sports. And so it's got to be that kind of situation. I think the most likely thing, I agree with you. Like, I really do think that if you just like put dice in the thing and threw it, Yahtzee.
Yeah.
The most likely scenario is probably that the Suns just look basically the same next season with tweaks around the edges on the guys on rookie contracts and 2-way contracts and minimums. That's the most likely outcome, which I'm fine with.
I agree. The thing, if we do sign Gillespie and Mark Williams, I think we will see like Royce or Grayson Allen leave if we are trying to stay under that tax.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If we kept Gillespie and Williams, they may both go.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that like for every guy we sign this year, someone else is probably gone. The thing about Grayson is he's also been hurt.
Yeah, he only really played in the last game.
Yeah. And I mean, he's awesome. He was great this year, but this is the second year where he played 45 awesome games and then got hurt.
Yeah.
And wasn't really available much down the stretch at all. And so again, what his value on the trade market is certainly hurt by his injury problems.
The thing, I agree, but I also think it's still pretty valuable. I think some people want to roll the dice on him.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could trade him. You could. Grayson Allen still has. You could still trade him. I'm just saying that, especially now that a couple of years have come off his deal, you could trade him. I'm just saying that, like, you're not getting blown away either. You know,
right?
But that's why I think like Aaron Gordon for Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen, and like because Grayson Allen is like 6 years younger than him, or for 4 years younger than him. So like that does make some sense for the Nuggets. You know, he's not a rim protector though. Is kind of the problem. Is that for a fit? I don't know how well, but it just, you know, roster churn. Who knows? But again, if the Suns just say no, we're just going to bring this team back.
Yeah, and we got a development player coach.
Yeah. Jordan Knott's good at that. But I do I do kind of feel like the optimal route for the Suns is bring back Gillespie, bring back Goodwin, let Williams go, and then you just kind of look at the market with Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen and Jalen Green, and you keep all those guys until you have a way to get a rim protector. Develop your rookie. Hopefully, maybe you can get a rim protector out of your rookies. Or Malawach and Rasheer Fleming become your rim protectors and everything is okay. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I think but I want the Suns to maintain flexibility unless they get a superstar. I don't want us locking ourselves into anything ever. Like, we've done too much shit where we're like locked down and there's nothing we can do. Like, I hate how this league is, where every roster is completely overturned every single year. Right. And I understand that it's annoying, but you do have to be able to make changes. But like, look at what the Thunder did. Exactly. They took years of building up a team. So let's just do that. Like, let's build up our team and add to it. And I just think that you agree that there's, you always agree there's going to be an odd man out. And I just think it's Williams. Yeah. Unfortunately. I love you, Mark Williams. I'm sorry. I'm not. I love watching this dude play basketball. He is awesome. All of his highlights are so fun. Yeah. We love Mark Williams. It's just money and injuries. It's just, Yeah. Now think about another
that we need other than rim protection is like like a guard, a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like a Josh Giddey? Like I don't know what his deal is over in the Bull, but I'm trying to think of a point guard. Is he a point guard? Is he like a or is he a?
I mean, Giddy's a point forward.
Oh, okay.
The problem with him is for a lot of teams is that you have to put shooters all around him. I actually, Giddy wouldn't be a horrible fit next to Booker. I think the problem is just you're taking the ball out of Booker's hands at that point and putting it in the hands of a guy who is good, but not Chris Paul.
So yeah, we don't have any like Chris Paul type point guards right now left in the league. Is kind of what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, who do we go after if we're trying to get that?
Well, I mean, Chris played the game a very different way for sure. He's a coach on the floor. In terms of somebody who, are you talking about an in his prime guy or more like what we got with Chris Paul before, like where we went out and got a 35-year-old? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I'm asking, like, how do you?
I would like, just like I would like a younger point guard, but like more of like a pure point guard, like Chris Paul. So I don't know. I think Booker would play well against next to someone like that.
It is definitely true that there are significantly fewer pure point guards left in the league. Like it has become a different game because you have to be able to sort of break the defense down in order to get to your shot, in order to make some of those passes so relevant. And so it definitely is like a guy like Steph Castle would probably be really, really good. I don't know that he's necessarily a pure point guard, but he's a very good point guard, and he would fit kind of perfectly next to Booker from the Spurs. Okay. Like that's the kind of guy who might be someone that SGA is, even SGA is like the best point guard in the league is a 2 guard. Yeah. Like SGA is not a point guard. Like Harden, is a point guard. This like a absolute point guard at this point who, that I always hated the idea of Harden and Booker playing together, and now I actually don't think it would be hard. But again, he's older.
Now he's too old.
Yeah, now he's too old.
I don't know. Garland, he's not point guard, is he?
No, Garland is. Yeah. Garland plays like nasty. Garland is it's just that he has constant injury problems. Mm-hmm. Garland is a guy who would come to mind. He's just small and has injury problems, and it's just hard to win with those things. A guy like Anthony Black, who's not as much of a pure point guard, but a very defensive-minded point guard, would be someone that also fits next to Devin Booker well. There's a lot of ways to go. And, the thing is that, you find a guy who has some of those skills and you let him develop, even Chris Paul played differently when he first came to the league. Chris Paul was dunking on motherfuckers when he first came to the league, which is the craziest thing to think about. Like tiny little Chris Paul, but he was. Insane. And so, he became the point god over time, and so there's going to be some levels of that too, but I'm with you. Like, there's not a lot left in the league. Like, there's not a lot of Chris Pauls left,
right.
It's not, it's hard to, like, you can't just go find Chris Paul,
right.
It's like the whole Draymond Green thing when everyone was like, we'll just play small ball and find our own Draymond Green,
Yeah. Well, then I guess it's better just stick with Green at that point. Like, if you can't get a point guard or.
Well, I think that Gillespie, like, this is the thing, is that I think that Gillespie is the best point guard fit next to Booker.
Yeah.
I just think that Jalen Green or that Devin Booker should play point guard and that Jalen Green should be the 2 guard. Everyone is against Devin Booker as a point guard. I wholeheartedly disagree. He's a great point guard. They've never found a 2 guard to fit next to him who could do anything. And listen, reorienting the Suns offense so that Devin Booker is playing point guard and Jalen Green is a 2 guard, I'm interested in that. Or playing Gillespie next to Booker, I'm interested in that. Mm-hmm. But playing Jalen Green as a point guard and Devin Booker as a 2 guard, I want nothing to do with.
Me either.
I don't want Jalen Green playing on ball. I want him playing off the ball.
I agree 100%.
Gillespie and Booker have a wonderful on-off ball chemistry together, but Jalen Green needs to stay off the ball until he is at the point of attack. And if he doesn't agree with that and he wants to play point guard, then I also need to trade him.
Yeah.
That's also part of this whole thing is we have seen the answer for Jalen Green is playing off the ball. It's not actually being a point guard and ticking up the assists like I was saying. And it's not that. It's actually playing off the ball, coming off double picks, and just attack every time you touch the ball. That's Jalen Green's manifest destiny. And if he doesn't want to do that, then he needs to go. Like that I will just say is Jalen Green needs to be the secondary option, playing off screens, playing off ball, running off picks, running all around, doing all that shit. And if he wants to do that, I want to bring him back next year. But if he wants to be like, no, I don't want him. And so I don't know where his head is at. I don't know him. From all accounts, he's like an amazing dude, an incredible hard worker, a good person. So I'd like to believe that he sees that his best interest. I mean, that's what he was doing against the Thunder. I felt like he played off ball most of the series. I was very impressed. We didn't win, but we were in a couple of the games, you know?
Yeah, we just had no defense against.
And the first game, we just were jitters and everyone was just, you know. But that's where I'm at with Jalen. Is like, but that's kind of the interesting thing. It's like with Williams, it's like, hey, are you willing to take a pay cut for your injuries? No, you got to go. With Jalen Green, are you willing to play off the ball? No, you got to go. Like that's those decisions are kind of easy.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
One thing that was interesting that we saw, Keith, you found this, and shout out to what's it?
Fifth Night of Gwyn.
Fifth Night of Gwyn on Reddit. This is like a chart that they made.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily agree with every single thing on this chart. This is styled in a way to be very like statistical looking, but is in fact incredibly emotional if you look at it and break it down. But it does have some very cool moments. Grayson Allen career game versus Pelicans. That's actually one of the games we're going to look at in the highlights section here.
The game you went to?
The game I went to with Connor. What up? Shout out to my nephew. Gave Spurs first loss of the season. That was fun.
That was sweet.
That was the game where Goodwin was just like living in Wemby's lap like Alex Caruso did to Jokic.
That was so early, man. It seemed like way later in the season.
This was the win versus the Pelicans when Jose Alvarado punched Mark Williams, and we were still doing the show on OBS.
Wow.
And I said that Mark Williams should get like a lifetime contract extension for trying to punch Jose Alvarado back. Like,
that's one of her first game.
This is why I love Mark Williams. Like, again, I just love this guy, but the injuries suck. Booker's game winner versus the Thunder. That was amazing. That was truly one of the great. I forgot about that. Honestly, that was. I bet we can find that real quick.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of negative as the season goes on. Booker making his 5th All-Star team is awesome.
Yes.
But a lot of the stuff is injuries. And again, right here, like Fleming missed 2 free throws versus Spurs. Did Wemby hit game winner? Heartbreaking. ... It's like that's not statistical. That's you. And again, shout out to this dude or this person, could be whoever they are for they really went through it for this season, but some of the stuff is a little bit personal, like it's a little bit feelings based.
Yeah, he starts criticizing
he starts criticizing Coach.
Yeah.
And I'm still on board with Coach. I'm not happy with what he did.
Yeah.
Everything down the stretch, but I'm still on board with him coaching the team.
Yeah, like I don't want him fired or anything.
No.
Yeah. No.
For once, I'm gonna take my damn glasses off so I can actually see what I'm highlighting. Trying to be too cool all the time. I'm gonna actually do it right this time.
You don't need glasses.
On the final seat where I'm going, we don't need roads. This will be good though. Soon we'll go into breaking down potential second round picks. It'll be a lot of fun to like break down dudes who will never see the league and we'll never see them again.
Yeah. They're like college footage.
Yeah. It's good times. All right, let's do this. So this is the Grayson Allen game. So this is the game that I was at with Connor. And this is when Grayson Allen hit the Suns record for threes in a game. Funny enough, He had 18 points at halftime, and I bet a bunch of money on him hitting 30. And then he like came out and started third and hit 4 threes right away. I was like, oh, this is one time a bet went very well. But I mean, again, this is still when everything was looking beautiful. I mean, look at this shit right here. Like you could not possibly be. Can we that color might not. What do we?
It's not quite bright.
It's not quite. Purple doesn't work because. How about green? Can I? Let's try a green. All right, that's gonna do it. That'll do it. All right, but look at this guy. I mean, he's wide the fuck open. You literally have the Pelicans here playing defense like you're playing defensive line in football.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, bad job by them, but good job if you didn't want a soccer offsides. I think this is on an offensive rebound, in truth. I'm pretty sure that Williams grabbed this ball on an offensive rebound. But nonetheless, the Pelicans out of position woefully as usual. Williams grabs it. Wide open three. That was the first one, but that's, you know, money. Here again, you know, just a nice little pass from Royce. This is, I think it's Isaiah Livers actually setting the screen here. And so, again, Grayson Allen. I mean, look, the Pelicans are just, you know, mostly disinterested in playing defense, sort of looking around, just out of place. And Grayson's wide open on the wing here. And again, it's just, you know, this is laziness from the Pelicans. Like, this is just, and this is the stuff that was so beautiful about our early season was how many open looks we got out of just, you know, little cross actions, side actions, setting a screen, side screen, all these things.
Yeah.
And again, you know, that defender is way too late on that closeout. And this is just another game where Grayson's hot. Right here, this is not even anything special other than just a very nice drive and good vision. The nice thing that Grayson does here is if you look at this play, he doesn't really have line of sight to hit Grayson the ball, right? Because that's going to be really easy for this dude to pick it off. Even a Pelicans defender can intercept the ball if you throw it right to him. So Grayson does the right thing and adjusts right here. And that's just the thing is like, again, that's those little things, moving without the ball, making sure that you're in position to get the shot. And so instead of just standing around, you know, waiting for the ball to come to him, he moves to the driver and gets himself into position, and right there comes to the ball, right? And the thing is that he's already into his shooting motion. Like right here, this is the other thing. He just caught this pass. He's already going up with the shot. So there's no like catch, hold. And, you know, this isn't a horrible closeout by the Pelicans defender. I'm not sure that is. I can't see the number, but, you know, it's a little bit late. It might be Derek Queen. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. But again, Grayson just, you know, lightning reflexes. This one, not even a three. Oh, whoops. I went way too far back. That's all right. We'll watch them again. They're beautiful. Gorgeous. Swish. This one, you know, we did see Grayson do a lot more off-ball work this year, and so that was pretty cool to see that, you know, he put a lot more. I mean, in this one, you just attack hard, and you're able to split the double team.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you know, he's got Gillespie right here. You know,
yeah, he does.
Like he totally could have hit Gillespie, but
you know he's feeling it here.
Yeah, I mean he is, and the thing is that because he attacked immediately, you know, basketball just like, you know, it's the microseconds matter, and those little, you're out of position, you're turned the wrong way for a split second, and you're out of position and dude's gonna score on you. And you know, this is Grayson learning that he doesn't always have to shoot the ball, but he can put the ball on the floor and attack. Yeah. Did a lot more of that this year for great success.
Great success.
I mean, that dude, that's just lightning, really. I mean, look at how fast, like, that's just like this, all this is like, this isn't, you know, they run a little quick screen, but Gillespie just gives him the ball and he just shoots. Like, there's nothing to, this is not a, you know what I mean? Like, just shot. And he's just feeling it and nails it. Like,
back when Alvarado was still in the Pelicans.
Yeah. Oh my God, that one, dude. Yeah, when he hit that one, like we all pretty much lost our fucking minds right here, because this one just grab the rebound and then just run across the lane, turn around, hit the fight. Like this was the arena blew up pretty hard right here because he's got the ball. we're all like, we know he's feeling it. We know he's like closing in on the record. Like the second half is, just getting underway. And this is like,
you bet on him to get 32.
yeah, I bet on him. And like everyone just starts to, and here again, just swish. It was just one of those games where you just could feel it. And the funny thing was, in the second half, what you don't see here is how often he's running around. Because once they realized he was close to the record, then all they did was try to get him the ball. And so the whole second half is just Grayson Allen sprinting, and he's like exhausted, running, like trying to get around picks and stuff. And it was pretty funny. When he broke the record, he like begged to leave the game. Like he was like, let me out. Like it was like he didn't want to like go for the Clay. He wasn't like, I'm getting Clay Thompson's record. He was like, I'm done. It was like funny. And then I think I had told you before is me and Connor started an MVP chant, and then the whole arena did it. And he talked about it in the media the next day. I was like, we did that shit.
That's awesome.
We totally did. It was pretty funny. But he just really couldn't miss, and he was like 10 of 14. Like it was just one of those. You was just feeling it, but just you can see like just the number. Everyone on the bench, like they all know what's going on, and it was very much a concerted effort to get him to that record, which you should do. It's good. You're having fun. You're beating the shit out of the Pelicans. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it was funny seeing him like at the end of the game. Like, I'm so exhausted. Get me out of here. Like he was done.
It was fun watching the sideline reactions to that though during there in that clip.
Yeah.
Mark Williams and even Booker is getting into it.
These guys loved each other. They had fun as a season. And that's one thing, there's definitely something to be said for when you have a team of guys who love each other and they were this good without like chemistry. What happens when, there's going to be a lot of stuff they do better after another training camp together, after growth, after another, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And especially with Devin Booker's whole career has been the roster changing over every single year. Yeah. Why not give him some continuity for once? See what he can do.
Yeah.
Now this game is we're starting at the end because the Suns, this was pretty much over. I was like furious.
Yeah.
We had blown it. This game was done. So it's 105-113. We're down 8 points with 56 seconds left. And our man Dylan Brooks has the ball. And here we go. So this is just nuts. Brooks, this whole thing is ridiculous. Right here, the first thing I want to point out, Dylan Brooks' shot form is horrible here. Like the way he just sort of one hands this thing.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, fucking, I'm shooting. And, it's bad. And Royce comes in to save the day. But that, right? Let me try to. It's truly terrible. It's worth noting how terrible it is. Right there. You can see, like, his guide hand is off the ball completely. Yeah. He's literally just like shot putting.
He's lucky he hit the rim.
Yeah. And, good for Royce for coming in, saving the day.
He saw that wasn't going in from the game.
Yeah. He was like, that's not going in. I'm getting it. Yeah. So Royce cuts it to 6. And here's the special part right here is our boy Gillespie throws the ball back and the Suns get the triple. Now, again, this is all hustle. This is all Connor Gillespie hustle right here because he literally – they bring the inbound, and Gillespie, he's fighting with DiVincenzo right here. By the way, DiVincenzo, sorry about your Achilles tear, bro. That sucks.
Oh, God.
But he just literally, they just fight, and he just gets the ball. Like, he just wraps around him and steals the ball. Like, he just works harder. And that's the crazy thing. He tried to throw it off him. Mm-hmm. But instead, it just goes right to Brooks, who, instead of being selfish, because here's the thing. Like, look at this. Like, Brooks, we know that Dylan Brooks wants to shoot this ball because he has the ball. He wants to shoot it.
Yeah.
But you've got multiple options. And he just chooses the closest, simplest one. Don't do anything stupid. And goody. Boom. Now it's a 3-point game. Then Goodwin on the other end steals the ball from Randall. This was just this play on the other end. Like Goodwin, like I love Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah,
I love him so much. And this steal was amazing. And you just, again, don't be stupid. Go down the court. Oh, ball don't lie. And see, that's the thing is like, this was a great game but his chart was missing. Like Ant misses 2 free throws. Like he played Rasheer Fleming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you got to take it. Ant missing those free throws was huge. But again, let's remember, it was 113-105 with 56 seconds left. They haven't scored. The Suns defense just completely locked them up at this point. And now we have the ball. And here you go. Just give it to Gillespie and get the hell out of the way. And then on the other end, God, just let him walk up the court. Like, yeah, it was a horrible shot by Randall, but when I remember watching that, like, I liked that they weren't calling timeout, but I was like, don't let him get in range. Like,
yeah,
he just kind of walked into a shot. Like, Gillespie here, though, this is really good stuff. Like, because again, this is just an isolation play. Booker had fouled out at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like we're sure that we're gonna lose because Book is out. I think Brooks is out too at this point. I think Booker got ejected.
When he
Booker is either hurt or got ejected, and Brooks he's fouled out, I think.
Yeah, I see Booker on the sideline. Maybe
Booker fouled out and Brooks was ejected.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. So, or Booker might have tweaked his, I can't remember exactly. But this is it. You got Gillespie, Goodwin, Dunn, and then we've got Williams and O'Neal on the court at the end of the game. They just run a little high screen for Royce and Gillespie because you want to get Gillespie isolated on DiVincenzo. Because, again, McDaniel's a great defender. Gobert's a good defender. The goal here, DiVincenzo's not a bad defender, but you want Gillespie and DiVincenzo basically one-on-one, college teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And, great play call by Jordan Ott. And, I mean, he drives in, and I love this still. It was one of my favorite moments of the season. Just like Gillespie got up on that one.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, it felt like he hung there forever.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really beautiful one. But then, just the way they let Randall just walk into this. Like, I love that they forced the ball out of Ant's hands.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. But right here, there's still time. Like, Randall is not a bad shooter. He could just nail this and the game's over. And, thankfully, brick. But just a crazy ending. Like, again, they were down 8 with 56 seconds left. That was like one of the best moments of the season.
I agree. That was probably my favorite.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
The Warriors game that put us in the playoffs. Jalen Green's best game was the Sun.
This is basically a Green highlight.
I mean, it was. The game was, I mean, this is the thing is this was Jalen Green's game. I mean, right here, blocked the shot on one end. Then he grabs the rebound, flies up court, and then finds Iguodala in the lane. Like, this was Jalen Green's best game as a Sun by far. He did everything on both ends. Again, when he didn't have the ball, he moved. When he did have the ball, he passed. When he was on defense, he was in the passing lanes. If Jalen Green played this way, and I don't mean made all of his shots, I just mean played this way every game, we wouldn't be talking about anything. Well, if he played this way, he would still be in Houston. But, here again, Booker, I mean, we were just killing him from the wings. They were making a concerted effort. You can see it right here, is that no matter what is going on, the Warriors in this game were making a concerted effort to ensure that they could rotate here, and rotate here. They left this and this wide open. And we absolutely fucking pounded the crap out of them and just said, okay, we'll do that. No problem. Jalen Green, wide open. Can't rotate in time. That's money. Let's see what we got on this one. Oh, God, yeah. And see here again, this is unreal. This is an unreal pass from Booker. Like I don't even know how does this develop. Like, you get the ball right here, whips it all the way over here to a cutting Jalen Green, who, again, where does he find the shot? On the wing. But, like, this is a ridiculous pass from, like, this is. Okay, so Green's here. So Devin throws the ball here.
Yeah.
Like, he's leading him like a receiver. Yeah, it's awesome. This is what I'm saying. Devin is an amazing point guard. I mean, that's ridiculous and wide open money. Just absolutely beautiful. This was the whole problem this game. Or not this game really, but this playoffs is just miss. And we let Brandon Pajemski tip it, and they get an offensive rebound. Because look at this fucker. Like, he's tiny, right?
Yeah.
But he's coming in, and no one's paying attention to him. And you just... And Pajemski had like 8 rebounds in this game. That was one thing that was driving me crazy. Was this fucker, we weren't boxing out. And it just, the Suns rebounding in general is horrible. And it's something they really need to work on. And this was a prime example of that. It happened all game. Porzingis, not much of an issue. The Suns slowed him down. That dunk, everyone got up on that one. And here again, Jalen stepping into the 3. Like, but see here again, like, look at these highlights of Jalen right now. Like, what we're seeing is playing really hard on defense and then taking off in transition to get a bucket. We're seeing him playing off the ball, cutting, and stepping into position to hit triples. Not holding the ball, not bringing the ball up court. Here we got one. This is the end of court. This is the end of half. I mean, this shot was... That's when you knew we were going to win. Yeah. When he hit that one, it was like, all right, man, we got this. But, you know, that's a last-second isolate. That's when I want him to ISO is, you know?
Yeah.
The rest of this game, a lot of just great play, just off the ball. Here, another good ISO play for sure. But he's using screens here. There we're finding Brooks. He's just, there's zero hesitation in any of this. Like, there's no, this is just an unconscious dude attacking and not fucking thinking constantly. The minute he gets to screen, he's going right to the rim. He doesn't care who gets in his way, switches to his left hand, goes here. He uses the double screen and immediately hits the ball to Brooks. Like, there's no, like, slowdown in his decision-making. There's no, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna, he's just, boom, attack, boom, I'm going to the rim, boom, I'm firing. Like, oh, and again, I understand some of this stuff comes with health. I understand some of it comes with teammates, but a lot of it also comes with just confidence and knowing what you're doing before you're thinking about it. If you don't, like, just preternaturally know what you're doing when you're on the court, you're not going to succeed. You can't think your way through every second of this game. You got to feel it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I don't feel like he was feeling anything for years. And right now I feel like there's a chance that he's starting to feel it a little bit. And you do probably, considering how hard it is for us to get talent and considering for the fact that, you know, his contract is discounted for what a number 2 overall pick extension would have been. You put his money and Bill's money together, well, you know, it matches, it works. So you make it work. So it's hard to get talent like that. I understand giving him another season, but I just want him to know. I would just want the Suns to put together a highlight package of him playing off the ball and show him, like, you're a superstar when you play like this.
Yes.
Always play like this.
Yes. You know, and where he's a, you know, that's odd specialty, player development. So maybe.
And maybe he was buying in more as time went on.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it looked better, is he was buying in. Who knows? You know, again, beautiful assist here. And this one, I mean, that was the heat check of all heat checks.
Yeah.
Again, it was just like, we're just like, you know, he was feeling it. And you just knew, you know, you could just tell that, you know, that shit was going to be, it was like, we're going to the playoffs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that was
nice. You know, it was a nice finish to the regular season, or, you know, or limbo between regular season and playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, we just had them. There were just opportunities.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But all right. This wasn't where it needed to be, unfortunately, in terms of, you know, the playoffs. But hey, let's get one more look at one last thing.
Next year.
This was a couple of months ago. Suns versus Thunder tied at 105. We played them to a draw. We had them here. and Booker roasts fucking Caruso. The fact that he hit it in Caruso's face.
Yeah.
We all hate Caruso. We all hate Caruso so much. He and Booker go at it all the time. And this one was just like, this for me was the best moment of the season. This was mine. As good as the one against the Timberwolves was, this in Caruso's fucking face, like this just felt good to me. Like this was my highlight of the season. Whenever Booker hits a game winner, and a 3-point game winner, and against the champs, and in Caruso's face, like that for me was just that was the highlight of the year. That was the play of the year to me because
that's a good one.
It was just the supreme, like the full Tiger Woods fist pump. Yeah, and again, it's like they swept us out of the playoffs, whatever. But just. This is basketball.
Yeah.
It's all about, like, it's 82 games. There's bragging rights. There's trash talk. Like, when you fucking hit a game winner in someone's face, you can talk about that shit. It doesn't matter if it's whatever. And so, like that for me was, and it was also emblematic of, like, what we could be.
Yes. When
things were at their best. And so, the sun has set on this season. But, I mean, it's like, I think we learned a lot. I think that I think that you would agree with me that if we said the goal was to lay the foundation for the future of a successful team, I think they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now the question is, like, the thing is that's kind of the easy part though, right? Like laying the foundation. Like, how do you take the next step then? That's the question is, what is the next step? Is it continuity? Is it one trade that brings you? It's all the stuff we talked about here.
Yeah, I think it's all of it. Like you're saying, it's continuity, it's development, and getting another piece.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when they make that move because I think that I can see your logic with next year is continuity and development, and then the year after that is let's get another piece. I don't hate that thought process at all, but I also don't want them to turn down getting better. Because they're trying to, like, you would love to do what the Thunder did, but the Thunder also had all these draft picks and all this ability to repeatedly take, shots at the lottery. So you don't want to say, I'm not even going to turn stones.
Right.
You just want to look.
Yeah.
And I just want them to be, and by the way, like having Rasheer Fleming learn from Aaron Gordon would be, amazing.
That would be.
But you don't want to give Rasheer Fleming for Aaron Gordon.
Right.
We need to see
your young players.
Right. We need to see Rasheer Fleming grow.
Yes.
And so I understand saying, you know what, we're just going to keep this team as it is. Because I do believe that given health, because there would need to be health. I do believe if you just basically kept this group, again, there would be tweaks. Mm-hmm. We don't know exactly what would be on the edges, but let's say that you basically kept the top 10. I do think they could win 50 games next year. I don't see any reason that 5 games of growth can't come from that chemistry because other teams will change. Mm-hmm. Teams that we don't expect to change will fall out. Someone will have an injury, and hopefully not us. But I do think 5 more wins is possible. And I think, if you look at that and just say, okay, I'm with that. And if you luck into a few more and something goes your way, who knows? So I think the benchmark has to be for any trade. I think you're going to get 5 games of go. I think like a trade would need to make you say, oh, we're going to win 10 more games.
Right.
And because if you're not, then just
or a playoff series would be
right.
Yeah.
If you could get Steph Castle, which you're not going to get Stephon Castle, but let's say that the Spurs owners decide for whatever reason that they hate the city of San Antonio and they want to piecemeal sell off this team. We lost Keith. Well, he's behind us. The point is, we'd add Steph Castle to this team. Yeah. Look, it's been a good season. It's been a good time. I'm going to try to, it won't let me. Well, what are you going to do? You're there. They know you're here. It's all good. It's been a good season. It's been fun. We're going to come back next week. We're not taking time off, so don't worry. I'm still going to annoy everyone that I know by making them watch this week to week. But significantly different focus next week, moving on to next season. We might talk about some of the playoff stuff as well. But
might be Monday because of
well, yeah, next week is Mother's Day. So it certainly won't be Sunday Night Suns. Might be Monday Night Suns. But the point will be that certainly going forward, we're going to look at next season. We're done with this season. We're not talking about it anymore. Any last thoughts from now the peanut gallery on on last season?
You know,
Do you have any more thoughts?
Great season for great. It was a lot of fun watching this year. So
Yeah,
I hope next year can be as a tenth, well not a tenth, but at least half as exciting as this.
Yeah, it was. This is the most fun I've had since 2013. I hope that we can have that much fun again, and hopefully we can win some more games and maybe a playoff series next year. And starting sometime next week, we'll get a look at how the hell they're going to do that. So, my man Keith, thank you for joining me again. Peace, Sunday Night Suns. Season 1 over. Season 2 coming.